Riot Games is a Russian publisher that recently has started distributing games outside of Russia, and in order to gain visibility, they have been sending out review copies of their games. Kevin Wenzel of 2D6 received some of those games, and I asked him if I could review the Kingdoms of Crusaders. Just and simply because it has a war theme. Maybe I'm shallow that I would play a game just because there is some war in the title and on the cover, but well, that's the case, then I am shallow. Anyways, the game really has nothing to do with the Crusades. I would say it has nothing to do with anything. It is a completely abstract game. Still, there are illustrations about the Crusades on the cards, so even if that's completely just a decoration, it has nothing to do with gameplay, it is still pleasant to look at. I played the game, and today I'm going to tell a little bit about it. Main components in the game are these two strips of cardboards, which are divided in 5 areas. Each sector of the strip abstractly indicates an area around the strip itself where the players will play cards. And gameplay is extremely simple. At the beginning of the game, the players shuffle all the cards together to make a draw pile, and then each player is dealt 5 cards. At the beginning of your turn, you draw a 6th card, and then you play a card in one of the 5 positions, and that's it. Game goes to the next player who does the same, and then it is again back to you to draw a card and play a card. Each location can hold 4 cards, no more, and once you play a card in a location, then it stays there. You cannot move it. And players will keep playing cards in different locations until each location has 4 cards. I'm not gonna show you the entire game. So each player will play a total of 20 cards, and once that happens, the game is over. Then you will score points to determine the winner of the game. And to do that, you will compare each location individually. 1 versus 1, 2 versus 2, 3 versus 2, to determine who the winner for each location is. What players are trying to do is to form powerful sets of symbols of the same color. The most powerful set is the set of 4 symbols of the same color, and then next you have the set of 3 symbols, then the set of 2 symbols, and then finally individual symbols. To determine who the winner of a location is, the first thing that you look at is to see if there is a player that has more sets of 4 than the other player does. If in this location I have a set of 4 and my opponent here has 2 sets of 4, then the opponent wins the battle in that location. If there is a tie, for example, I have a set of 4 here, my opponent also has only 1 set of 4, then you look at the type of set. In fact, the symbols here on top of each card are ordered by power, from least powerful to most powerful. So in this case, if my opponent only has 1 set of 4, but it is a set of 4 yellow symbols or 4 red symbols, then my opponent is the winner. If the opponent has a set of 4 brown or 4 blue symbols, then I am the winner. And if there is a tie both for number and type of sets of 4, then you look at the sets of 3 and you apply the same procedure. First, you look at the number of sets of 3 and then at the type. And if need be, then you look at the sets of 2, and if there is still a tie, then you look at individual symbols. And you look for the single most powerful symbol. If there is a tie there too, then the winner for that location is the one that played the 4th card in that location first. And that's it. This is pretty much what the game is about. You play 20 cards, you form sets, you score points, and based on that you determine who the winner is. The first time that I played the game, I was just looking at what my opponent was doing. When the opponent started building a set of 4 yellow symbols in a location, I would just build a set of 4 red symbols and I would win the location. And that made the game seem a little limited until, of course, my opponent started figuring that out and started doing the same, realizing that the game is not just about building powerful sets, but building them more powerful than your opponent. It's about looking at what the opponent does and playing accordingly. So the game really is about keeping your options open for as long as possible, waiting for the opponent to commit, because once the opponent commits to a certain type, a certain number of sets of symbols that can be built in a location, well, that is when you can start trying to do better. But of course, you can only delay for so much. Sooner or later, you will have yourself to commit yourself in certain locations. Maybe you will decide to just give up a location and use that to place all the cards that you do not need as you're waiting for better cards to come to your hand. Luck is a factor, yes, it clearly is, but with a game this simple, this short, I don't see that being a big problem, really. If there is a game that is completely dominated by luck, then you just play the game again. You play, best out of 3 or best out of 5 games, and that definitely mitigates the luck factor. Overall, this is a game that plays fast, I would say maybe in 10 minutes or so. It is clearly very simple to learn, very simple to teach, and overall it has enough decisions to keep me interested for how long, maybe I should say for how short a game lasts. So to me, this is definitely a nice filler.